Hi everyone, I hope you had a wonderful 4th of July and welcome to the second week of our course. So during this week we are going to talk about the two parts of the Roman Empire after they separated. As I mentioned last time, in the 3rd century, the Germanic tribes begin to invade and attack the Roman Empire, and that eventually leads into a separation of the Roman Empire into two parts, the eastern part and the western part. At the beginning, these two parts are just administrative parts. It is still one empire, but eventually, as time goes on, the separation between the eastern part and the western part of the empire becomes more and more prominent until there are actually two separate empires. The empire and the eastern part we refer to as the Byzantine Empire, and the empire in the west becomes the Frankish Empire, the Carolingian Empire, and then later on it becomes what we would refer to as Western Europe. So I want to talk now a little bit about Byzantine, the eastern part of the empire, and I just want to make two important points. The first point is that until the 6th century, the emperors of the eastern part of the Byzantine Empire really do not give up on the dream of uniting the empire, the eastern and the western part of the empire. They perceive themselves as being basically the Roman emperors, as being the heirs of the Roman Empire, the glorious Roman Empire. And they're not satisfied with merely ruling the eastern part. They want to regain the parts that all the Germanic tribes took over in the western part of the empire. Probably one of the most famous emperors, Byzantine emperors, to have that dream is Justinian, and you've read a little bit about him in your textbook. But after the 6th century and after the great achievements of Justinian in the West, the emperors in Byzantium give up on this dream. It's just too expensive and they can't afford to maintain the territories in the West. And what happens is that the Byzantine Empire really becomes a distinct, separate empire. The second point is that the Byzantine Empire is so important because while the western part of the empire deteriorated, while it fell apart through the invasions of the Germanic tribes, Roman culture and Roman civilization was actually preserved in Byzantium, in the eastern part of the empire. So the eastern part, Byzantium, has a crucial role in passing the legacy of the past, of the Roman empire, of classical studies, of classical civilization and achievement to the western part. Because when the western part recuperates around the 8th century with the Carolingian Empire, all the texts, all the important texts survive in Byzantium, not in the western part. So Byzantium has a really important point in preserving the past, and it is especially important, we will see, in the Renaissance, in the 15th and 16th century, because all the important texts from the past are preserved in Byzantium, and when Byzantium finally falls apart, and it falls after 1,000 years of being a really important empire, Byzantium falls in 1453. It is conquered by the Turks. We'll talk about it when we talk about the 15th century. When it falls, though, important scholars move to the western part, to the empire in the west, and bring all these important texts that were preserved and kept in Byzantium for all these centuries. So these are the two main reasons why we are studying the Byzantine Empire, and just very important reasons and facts and points to keep in mind as you're doing your readings. So happy reading, and I will see you again pretty shortly, actually.